Good evening, everyone. Fantastic. It's lovely to have you guys back in the room, and it's good to be live again. We are live. Yes, we are live, and tonight is going to be a lovely time out with us because we are wrapping up the goal getting blueprint. It's been a journey for the past 6, 7 weeks or so, and it's been an interesting one as well because the goal getting journey, the goal getting blueprint is the sum total of what brings together the aspect of this challenge that drives results. Because the challenge in itself is a waste of time if you just go through whether it's 60 days, 100 days, whatever the challenge it is for you, and you don't eventually achieve what you set out to do. Okay. Now, I believe you followed through with all the elements of the goal getting blueprint, and I'm going to be touching on them again this evening. So, tonight we're touching on confidence. Confidence is the goal trigger. Confidence is the deal maker in the whole spectrum of things. Confidence is the difference between the person that achieves the goal and the person that does not achieve the goal. And that is what we're dealing with this evening. How many of you are with me? Yes, as you're coming right in, just get right into the live chat and begin to drop in your comments, okay? I want it to be as engaging and as buzzing as possible tonight. Let it be full of energy. Drop your learning point, and I'm sure the moderator will also be on standby to be dropping the nuggets as I'm putting it down. You're picking it up. Yes or yes? Yeah, let's go. Let's go right into it. Fantastic. Okay, we are opening the session with our quotes. I'm sure some of you remember our quote this evening. The anchor quote for this challenge. What is the quote by Zig Ziglar that says you should set a goal so big that you cannot achieve it. That is, the present you cannot achieve it until you evolve, until you grow into the person who can. So there are two things involved here. One is the goal, and the other is the person. So it takes two. It takes you and it takes the goal to come together to make some magic happen. So the present you cannot achieve that goal at that moment, but you should set the goal bigger than you anyways. It doesn't matter. Just set that goal and you now work on yourself to become the person that can eventually make this goal happen. Does that make sense? That is what we're dealing with even this evening. And that is why we are going through the goal getting blueprint. Yeah. And in the process of setting that goal and moving from the old you into the new you begin to discover what I've been touching on at some point in time in this conference, sorry, in this trainings, yeah, in these sessions, that we really don't know our own strength. Isn't that amazing? We don't know our own strength. That is where you get the concept of adrenaline kicking in. That's where you understand that there are some things that you know that you naturally would not be able to do until you just find yourself in some situations that put you under some intense pressure, some situation that just takes you out of your comfort zone. It jolts you to become the person that can just do some amazing things. You really don't know your strength. It doesn't matter how far you've come. There are still some things that you really cannot achieve until you give it an extra push. The difference between what you do on an ordinary level and what you do on an extraordinary level, it's that extra. And that is what we're teaching in this challenge. That extra that makes you just do amazing things. That extra that brings out the life in you, that extra that brings results in ways that even you yourself, you cannot explain it, you cannot quantify it. That extra is in what you call the ingredient X. ingredient X. And that is what we are unpacking layer by layer, week upon week in the WhatsApp group, in on live on the session, in all our interfaces. That is what we're bringing together. And I'm so pumped up. I'm so excited about tonight's lesson, which is confidence. Confidence is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Confidence is the climax. It is the climax of your goal getting blueprint. Write that down. Confidence. This is the climax of your goal getting blueprint. If your goal getting blueprint talks about the seven C's that you need to cross, imagine that the gulf or the medium between you and your goal is seven C's that you need to cross. Confidence is the seventh C. If you remember this first C, clarity, we're going to be talking about the breakdown in a bit. But I just want to bring you up to speed onto as to why confidence is such a big deal. Why is confidence number seven? Are these C's arranged in any random order? No, there is a particular order to these things, and that is what we're wrapping together tonight. As we stitch everything together, it begins to make sense. Confidence is that goal trigger. It is what you do that makes everything fall into place. Maybe when you've started with clarity, comprehension, capacity, commitment, courage, concentration, and all that, it seems like, I don't know where this is heading. All this is just bringing you so much stress and all that. But by the time you cap it up with confidence, everything becomes clear. Everything makes perfect sense. Confidence is when your head, I mentioned that I think a couple of videos ago, when your head and your heart and your hand are in perfect alignment. Yes, that is when you experience confidence. Confidence, I dare say, is an experience. And you only need to be in this experience to understand what I'm talking about. I'm sure some of you will be like, why is Coach Taco so excited tonight? I know what I'm talking about. And I'm sure if you follow me closely till the end of this session, you will understand why I'm so pumped, why I'm so excited about the concept of confidence. It is when everything just makes sense. Imagine it's like a plant that you have planted for maybe a couple of days, it's in the ground and it doesn't seem to come out of the ground, and you're wondering, is this plant in this ground? Is this plant still alive? You're watering it and all that. And on the fourth day or whenever, when you just see that poof, poof, that leaf, that sprout that comes out of the ground, it is there it just makes perfect sense to you that yes, this plant is alive. There is something about this plant. It's coming out. It's real. That is when it becomes like an epiphany for you, like a discovery, like, oh my goodness, this thing is for real. But all the time that the plant was in the ground, the seed was in the ground, and you're watering it, and you don't, day one, you didn't see anything, you watered the ground. Day two, you didn't see anything, you watered the ground. Day three, you didn't see anything, you still watered the ground. Everything is still in like some abstract state. But by the time you now begin to see something coming out of the ground, in fact, you're even gingered to give it more attention, fertilizer if you need, but of course, the agric experts will let us know when is the right time to apply that. But the point I'm just trying to make is that there are some things that just spur up some level of attention and encouragement, and reality just sets in and just makes you understand that, oh my God, what I've been doing all along, it's for real. That is what we're talking about tonight. Yeah. Now, some videos ago, I mentioned the fact that life presents you keys before locks. How many of us remember that part where I talked that life presents keys before locks? And it's just a question of opportunity. When opportunities unfold before you, we talk about the fact that you learned something today, but you really don't know when you would need it, until you realize that in the near future, there's something that is calling for that opportunity or that learning that you've gotten at some point in your past. I don't want to go into that, but the point I want to make you understand that when life presents you keys before locks, the reason that happens is that when you get to the place When you need to unlock something, you unlock with what? Confidence. Hmm. Follow me closely. I'm going somewhere tonight. When you get to a place that has a lock and you don't have the key, how do you feel? You feel hindered, you feel frustrated, you feel limited, you feel like a roadblock, you feel like a hurdle, you feel like there's nothing to cross and all. But if you have your key in your hand, what do you have? You have confidence. You can just take out the key, slot it into the keyhole, and you just crank it, and everything just opens. Right? That is what confidence does to you. I am going to help you to make sense of everything tonight. But when you find yourself, the analogy is just about life. When you find yourself trying to find what is the secret to success, what is the secret to making money, what is the secret to having peace of mind, what is the secret to fighting depression, what is the secret to mental health, what is the secret to looking good, what is the secret to all those things are locks in our lives. But the moment you find the keys to those locks, what does it do to you? You open with confidence. You just go right through it and you get what you want. It is when you don't have the keys that you lack confidence. Isn't it? If you feel me tonight, just write it down there. Let me know that you are feeling me tonight. All right? And I'm going somewhere. Just follow me closely. Okay? Confidence is when the universe recognizes that your mind is ready to engage the law of attraction. A couple of weeks ago, I posted that video about celebrities that are engaging the law of attraction and manifesting the goals of their dreams, what they write on their vision boards, what they place on their mind over and again, and all that and stuff. That blueprint of manifestation is what we have been unlocking video by video for the past 7 weeks. We talk about the fact that first the goal must be clear, right? And all that. I'm going into the breakdown in a bit, but I just want to lay the foundation as to why confidence is such a big deal. When, like they say, when the students are ready, the teacher appears. It's the same way with the universe. The moment you are locked down on what you want and you're confident about it, the universe begins to serve you the things that will make it happen. The right networks, the right relationships, the right opportunities, the right resources, everything just begins to align. That is the state of confidence when everything is just as if it's just working together for your good and everything just working pam, pam, pam in your favor. That is confidence. Now, this is not what everybody experiences every day, but there is a method to achieving this thing. And that is what we are unfolding in all the sessions that we've been delivering thus far. And that is what I want us to go through even tonight. Okay? Follow me closely. Now, confidence is when your mind sees opportunities effortlessly and repeatedly. You want to write that down? Confidence is when your mind sees possibilities effortlessly and repeatedly. Why is this so? I've made mention the concept of the fact that your natural senses are tools. They are not the actual devices. Your natural senses are not your mind. They are just sensors that send signals to the mind. But the mind needs to first believe in the possibility of something happening before it now begins to engage on the strategy or how to make that possibility turn into result. All right. Now, confidence is when your mind has seen that possibility. Confidence, you can as well say, is when you have mental permission. For example, in your life, whatever the goal is, we've always been using money, money, money most of the time, but let's go physical health this time. Let's say you want to lose some weight. And the moment you set to yourself that I want to drop 20 kgs before Christmas, that is the goal that you've set to yourself. Confidence is when you have given yourself the mental permission to believe that you can drop 20 kilograms, 20 pounds, depending on where you are, before Christmas. And it now begins to make that possibility a familiarity to you. And it's not something that you believe it was possible yesterday, but today you are in doubt. But you find yourself in a situation whereby the possibility is effortless. And not only effortless, is repeated. Every now and then you can see what you want to see and you can believe it, and everything just flows freely in your mind. When you are at that stage, you are at the stage of confidence. Thank you, moderator. It is when your mind sees possibilities effortlessly and repeatedly. Now, let's talk about opportunities. Confidence is also when your mind shows you opportunities effortlessly and repeatedly. Did you get that? The first part is when your mind sees possibilities effortlessly and repeatedly. Now, the next one is when your mind shows you opportunities effortlessly and repeatedly. We have said it before that the mind sees possibilities before it creates opportunities. The eyes, it doesn't matter what the eyes see, if the mind does not see possibilities, the eyes cannot see opportunities. We've said that before, right? But when the mind sees possibilities, the eyes can see opportunities. Now, what I'm now saying is when you're in a state of confidence, it is when your mind has already confirmed possibilities. And at that stage, it is now showing your eyes or showing yourself opportunities of the things that you need to do, people you need to connect with, and all that. I'm going to bring it closer home as I begin to stitch everything together. Now, confidence in itself is the sum total of everything we've been doing in the past 7 weeks. And you bear with me a bit because I'm going to do a bit of recap and show you how everything comes together. Confidence is what you've done for the last 6 C's. That is what gives you confidence. That means 1C plus 2C plus 3C plus 4C plus 5C plus 6C equals the 7C. I hope you get my mathematics. Let me break it down for you. 1C, the first C is clarity. Before you embark on anything, you are clear about what you want to do. You've written the vision down, you've probed it and all that. Okay, I want it to be this specifics. You've given it specifications. That's what clarity speaks to. Now you now move to 2C. 2C is comprehension, right? Comprehension is when you begin to process what you're saying. You are counting the cost, you are understanding it, and you are knowing the implication of the dream that you have set for yourself. That, okay, I see it, it is this clear, it is this specific, and I also understand it that it's going to cost me this much, it's going to require this sacrifice and all that. That's when I talked about the price, PRCE, for the prize, PRIZE. That is at the stage of comprehension. Now, capacity is when you now begin to firm up what is going to require you, or the amount of resources, whether it is human resource, intellectual resource, material resource, whatever resource that you need in terms of capacity to achieve that goal. Thank you very much. When you now say capacity is all that I need, the amount of resources that is required to execute this goal that I now understand based on this goal that I am clear out. So you can see that it's coming together. First, I'm clear about the goal. Next, I understand the goal. Next, I build capacity for the goal. Now you stitch that together. Now we go to commitment. Knowing what you need to do is not enough, because I've said it many times that many people know what to do, but few people do what they know. Look at the WhatsApp group, for instance. We are so much in the group, but you can tell that people that are active in the group, people that are actually putting in the work, they are about 20%. And that is the rule of the Italian of is a philosopher, the Pareto, that talks about the Pareto principle, that it is only 20% of the sum total that eventually bring in 80% of the results. And as you can see in the WhatsApp group, that principle holds sway. And that's where we move into the fourth C. Fourth C is what? Commitment. It is not enough to know what to do. There are many people that are very good at ending quotes. You start a quote, they know how to finish it. You start a rhyme, they know how to finish it. You start a line, they know how to finish. They can tell you where that video is from, where that knowledge is from. They know all these things. They are just knowledge junkies. But when it comes to action, they don't do jack. I'm sure you can tag some friends around you that they can spit fire. They talk, all they do is talk. They know all these things, but they don't do. That is where you need commitment. All that you've already known by clarifying, understanding, and building capacity for, you now move to the fourth C, which is acting, committed. That means this is where you now favor consistency over intensity. I'm just trying to do a recap of all that we've done in the past 7 weeks and helping you to stitch together how they come together to give you confidence. Now you've done 1C, 2C, 3C, 4C. You now move on to the fifth C, which is what? Courage. That's when we talk about people having headaches, people having fatigues, people, I mean, for those that are putting in the work, you must go through discomfort. It is clear. You can't hide from it. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a walk in the park. It's not going to be that comfortable. It's not going to be that convenient. It's going to stress you because this is new to you. Your body will react. Your body will fight you. Your body will fight you. Your body will resist it. Your reticular activating system will want to filter it out of you because this is foreign. But you need to be courageous. You need to fight back. You need to tell yourself it is worth it. You need to be hungry enough. You need to remind yourself of how strong is your why. This is that level of courage. You can see it's all building together. And as you continue on that level of courage, you also need something that keeps your mind agile, which is the sixth C, which is what we treated last week in the recorded session. That is concentration. If you are watching this video and you've not seen any of the previous sessions, they will not make much sense to you. If you've skipped any session, you need to go back and watch it. And if you didn't finish any session, you need to go and complete it. Everything is intentional. It is line on line, brick on brick, precept on precept, and it all builds together. Because when you are on that journey, it is what gives you the staying power to keep going, because it's going to get tough. It's going to get difficult. It's going to get discouraging. But you need to stay the course and be focused. That is where we dealt with concentration. So by the time you are doing all of this, they actually give you what you call the confidence to get results. And I'm going to break it down in a bit. I hope you're following me closely. I want to try as much as possible to keep this session short, but let's see how it goes. All right. Confidence is a 5-letter word. Yeah, that's the reaction I want to get. Confidence is a 5-letter word, and it is spelled Faith. Moderator, help me put it there. Confidence is a 5-letter word that is spelled Faith. Confidence is faith. That is what confidence is. Thank you very much. Confidence is faith. It is what drives you. It is what gives you staying power. It is what compels you to get what you set out to achieve. It is what makes you refuse to back down no matter what. It is what makes you keep digging until you get to the well. It is what makes you keep knocking until the door opens. It is what makes you keep asking until you get results. It is what makes you keep seeking until you find faith. That is confidence. There is no successful person on earth that has not gotten any level of success without a dose of faith. And this is not religious. This is simply a compelling belief that what you have said you will achieve, nothing can take it from you. It takes a huge dose of compelling belief, compelling faith that you will get this. Now, what is faith? Let's use the scriptural definition. Faith is a combination of two things. Number one is what? Substance, something tangible. Number two, evidence, something that gives you proof. That is the basis of our lesson tonight. We are already in the middle of the trip. Okay? Now, let's break it down. Faith mathematically equals substance plus evidence. That is the mathematical equation according to scripture, right? Faith equals substance plus evidence. Now, replace faith with awareness. Replace substance with notification, and replace evidence with receipts. Let me break it down for you. I'll use an analogy of a financial transaction. If I, okay, who's the last person to comment? Bookie Love. Yeah. Let me use you an example. If I send ₦1 million into your account as we speak, if I send ₦1 million into your account, you need two things to be aware that ₦1 million is in your account. You need a notification, whether an email notification or an SMS notification, right? You also need a payment slip, or what you call a payment receipt. Now, if you get a notification and a payment receipt, even while you're still busy listening to this session, you come to the awareness that 1 million naira has been paid into your account. In fact, let me make it $1 million. I think that will make your smile wider. Yeah. Now, so if faith equals substance plus evidence, you can just as well say that awareness equals notification plus receipt. Is that mathematics still following? Is this still flowing? So faith equals substance plus evidence. Thank you, moderator. Now, yeah, you can dance all you want. Awareness, this is now substituting faith with awareness equals notification plus receipt. Based on the analogy I just gave you now, that your awareness of $1 million in your account is premised on notification plus receipts. Now, let's deal with awareness for a bit. Many of us, like we said last week when we were talking about concentration, are drowned in so much noise that is distracting us from the awareness of our goals. Just follow me closely. I'm going somewhere. Awareness is a very important ingredient in this mix. So awareness is likened to faith. Faith is likened to confidence. You can see where we're going now. So awareness in itself comes from mindfulness. If you missed last week's session, go back and watch it. I touched on mindfulness there. Awareness comes from mindfulness, and mindfulness uncovers information. Awareness comes from mindfulness, and mindfulness uncovers information. I've talked about our natural senses before. I've broken it down many times in all these videos. I even mentioned it last week that your senses capture information and send those data to the mind for processing. Now, when your mind begins to process that information and it generates awareness for you, it happens in the place of mindfulness, when your mind is focused on the information or data that has been received. And that is what we all need to practice even more often from time to time. Mindfulness helps to create awareness. Awareness comes from mindfulness. So whether you know that your dreams are possible or not, the metric for measuring that is your level of awareness. Now, I mentioned $1 million in Bookie Love's account. Now, if I scale it up and I say $1 billion in Bookie's account, now there is a part in Bookie's mind that might argue with the possibility, true or false, because it's easy to say, right? Talk is cheap because you first check $1 billion. Yeah, right. Thank you very much, coach. But can you just continue the session and stop distracting us or telling us about things that is not possible? Those are the kind of things that your mind begin to process. But when you see a notification on your phone and you see a receipt, now tell me, does your mind still query the possibility of the money in your account? Yes or no? That is the answer. So oftentimes it is when you come to the awareness of what is possible in your life, that is when you begin to realize what you are capable of or the things that you're not capable of. Let me take it a step further. Now, imagine that, thanks, Bookie. Imagine that you have an urgent need to attend to that requires finances. Yeah, there is something that you need to sort out today. It is not a banking day, it is a Saturday, and you need money to get it done. How do you feel? Anxiety sets in. You enter panic mode. Your mind is going all over the place looking for what can you do? What can you do? How can you get this thing sorted out? And imagine you're in this session right now and that thing is weighing in on your mind. I can guarantee you, you can't hear a word of what I'm saying, even if I've been talking for half an hour, because your mind will be wondering that when this session is done, I still need to go and solve that problem. True or false? Now, you now find yourself in a situation where while you are busy worrying, while you are busy encumbered in your mind and distracted about how to solve this problem, you just get a beep on your phone. Beep, beep. And you check it out and you see a credit notification and a payment receipt that the money that you need is in your account. What does that give you? Write that down. If you've been following me thus far, I'm waiting for someone to write that down. What does that give you when that which has been giving you sleepless nights, what has been bothering you for so long, you eventually find the awareness, you come to the awareness that you have it in your possession? What does it give you? Exactly. It gives you confidence. That is what we're talking about. Now, how do you generate confidence? Especially when you are not in possession of the thing that you're looking for physically. I mean, what you got was a notification on your phone. You are not in possession of $1 million cash. You don't have it in front of you. For all you care, the notification could be manipulated. The receipt could be manipulated. But guess what that does to you? The moment you see the notification or the text message that the problem has been solved, your mind rushes from an emotion of anxiety to an emotion of confidence. That is why I want to teach us tonight how to create the right emotions that generate the results. So what you need to do as you work on confidence as one of the blueprints for getting the result is you need to teach your mind to begin to rehearse the emotions of excitement. You wrote it down there. You said excitement. Rather than waiting until you see the cash. I've mentioned it, maybe it was a number of weeks ago that you shouldn't subscribe to that programming that says seeing is believing. Rather, subscribe to the programming that says believing is seeing, and begin to teach your mind to believe. Hmm. Oh, I hope you're following me tonight. Yeah. You need to begin to teach your mind to role play the things that you want so that your mind becomes familiar with them and the mind begins to generate the appropriate responses to make it happen. I've made it clear before that the mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is a fantasy or what is imagined. Now, what you're trying to do, I have sold you a narrative that some money has been sent into your account. What you need to do is to frame that same narrative and let your mind engage it. Exactly. Teach your mind to believe. That is the crux of tonight's lesson. Confidence is faith, and faith is premised on two things: something that is tangible, called substance, and something that has proof, called evidence. That is what you need to begin to train your mind to hold on to as planks for success. You need to begin to create notifications in your mind. You need to begin to create receipts in your mind by way of vision boards, by way of your conversations, by way of the way you're engaging your mind. That is what you should be mindful of. That if I solve this problem, if I get this result, if I move to this gain in my life, if I move from this pain in my life, what kind of emotions will my mind generate? When you know that whatever the emotion is, begin to live in that present moment. So the affirmation challenge that we started a couple of weeks ago, you shouldn't just take it as at surface level that you're just looking for something to listen to or write down, but begin to make it your reality. You need to train your mind to begin to make those affirmations your reality. Because when the mind is familiar enough with that kind of mindset as a reality, it becomes effortless and repeatable to see opportunities and generate opportunities to make those results eventually happen in your life. Is somebody catching something I'm dropping tonight? You need to begin to get into a state of awareness. And awareness, as we've shared in the group, is that knowledge that anything that you want has already been provided. You don't have to wait until it's in your hands. Let your head align with your heart and drag your hands along to begin to make it happen. Let me give you another analogy. I love analogies because that's the way I teach. All right. Imagine that you're a parent expecting a baby. What is the first thing you do? The moment you realize that you're expecting a baby, you start making preparations. You convert one of the rooms in your house into a nursery. You buy baby things, baby crib, dangling toys, baby clothes, diapers, the whole 9 yards. You begin to prepare for this baby, for the arrival of this baby. You paint the wall in baby friendly colors. Everywhere is looking all calm, and there's this twinkle twinkle bell that is making some musical tones and all that. You're preparing for this baby. Now the baby arrives. After the whole works in the hospital, the baby comes home. In fact, the baby that cannot read, some of us go as far as putting up buntings and ribbons that says "Welcome home" to a baby that cannot read. Now this baby is home and is just sleeping. All the fine rooms, the fine crib, the fine clothes, the baby has no idea. The baby is just sleeping. Why? Because the baby is just confident that you guys will sort things out. The baby does not worry, where am I going to sleep tonight? The baby does not worry, what's going to be the color of my room? The baby does not worry about, am I going to be wearing diapers or am I just going to mess myself up? The baby does not worry about what am I going to eat when I'm hungry. The baby does not worry, am I going to see toys? The baby does not worry about a thing. I don't know if someone is catching the analogy I'm making. The baby does not make this request. The baby is just confident that you parents will sort it out. In fact, you parents have sorted it out. Let me bring this analogy to life. How much more we that are God's babies? Did you ever come to realize that everything we will ever need, our crib, which represents our accommodation, our food, nourishment, every source of provision before we came into this world has already been provided for? Then why do we come into this world worrying about the crib, worrying about the colors of the walls, worrying about the food we will eat, worrying about things that we need not worry about? The answer is very simple. It is because we are unaware. Somebody catch that. The reason why we worry about so many things in our lives is because we are unaware of the notification and the receipt that we have these things. Confidence is what unlocks your awareness to what you already have. I hope someone is catching what I'm dropping tonight. Confidence is when you come to that awareness that I don't need to wait until it is in my hands, but my mind has seen it and has confirmed that there is credit in my account because my mind has received a notification. My mind has received the payment receipt. So my mind believes that the provision is available because the source of provision is sure. God cannot be broke. We only need to come to that awareness that everything that we will ever want unto God, who is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, beyond our thoughts, beyond our concepts, beyond our imaginations. He is able to do that. But the catch is according to the power that is at work in us. What is that power? Awareness. Write it down. The power is awareness. The power that is at work in you is your level of awareness of the ability that you can draw. Now, write this down. The level of awareness you have determines the level of confidence you have. The level of awareness that you have determines the level of confidence that you have. Are you guys catching what I'm dropping tonight? Now, let's talk about prayer for a bit. And this is not a religious session, but follow me closely. I always like to state this ahead of time so that we don't get carried away, because at times we could get so religious that we miss out the spirituality of things. And I'm going to ask a question. When you pray, do you pray out of faith or do you pray out of fear? When you pray, do you pray out of faith or do you pray out of fear? It's a very important question that you need to ask yourself. And if you look at the way you have been praying before now, you can answer truthfully. If your prayer is along the lines of asking for something in future, there is a tendency that you are praying out of fear. If your prayer is thanking God for what you already have based on awareness, faith, then you are praying out of faith. I'm glad that you are writing it down that you're praying out of faith, but I need you to begin to probe your prayer points. Probe the things you pray about. Most of us, we pray out of fear, even though we claim to pray out of faith. I'll give you an example. Monday morning, you are in school. I'm painting a scenario, and it's exam. You are meant to write an examination. When you get to the examination, do you pray? Yes or no? That question is a rhetorical question. Now, the question is, if you pray, what exactly do you pray about? That is an analogy. You are in school, there's an exam, and you pray. What do you pray about? That is one. Two, you are going for an interview. Do you pray? If so, what do you pray about? Three, you are making a presentation to 10,000 participants in a mega conference. Before you make the presentation, do you pray? If so, what do you pray about? Now, I've given three parallel scenarios that are pretty much similar based on wherever you are or based on whichever situation that you can relate with. Now, the question is, when you pray, what exactly do you ask for? What you ask for will immediately tell you if you are praying out of faith or praying out of fear. If you get what I'm saying, let me know that you got it. And if you didn't get it, say, Coach, please come again. When you pray out of faith, you are not praying for something to come. You are praying for the awareness of what already has come. That is the prayer of faith. That prayer that says, I believe that it is not when I speak that you manufacture this thing to come. I believe that this thing is already with me. I am simply asking that you should bring me to the awareness, that is, open my eyes to see it. Because oftentimes, what we are looking for has been with us all our lives. Don't forget, I say life presents keys before locks. But there are many times that we've got a bunch of keys in our hands and we have zero clue that we've been holding on to a bunch of keys. Awareness. Confidence is simply about awareness. Confidence is about faith. Faith is about awareness. Because it is when you are aware of something that you can actually deliver on that thing. But when you are unaware of something, then you are blind to the existence of that thing, then your prayer will not be asking for that stuff. So take this home. Whenever you pray prayers like, God, help me, God, bless me. God, provide for me. God, give me. When you pray those kind of prayers, what you are simply saying is you are praying out of fear because your mindset tells you that you don't have help. Your mindset tells you that you don't have blessing. Your mindset tells you that you don't have a provision. Your mindset tells you that you don't have what you're asking for. That is a prayer based on fear and on awareness. Follow me closely. It is not a religious course or a session that I'm teaching right now, but I'm teaching you scientific principles. This is why some people that have nothing to do with religion, they understand this principle and they unlock it. Faith is not only a preserve of religion. In fact, religion is the opposite of faith because religion buries you in rituals, but faith simply says, believe, open your mind. So when you pray, rather than saying, God, help me, change it to, God, I receive your help. Bring me to the awareness that you are helping me. Why? Because God is actually helping you. You are the one who needs to come to the awareness that God is helping you thus far, all along. When you say, God bless me, or God bless Nigeria, God bless America, God bless, when you say that, it is a prayer from fear. Because what you are saying is, God, I am unaware that I am blessed. Because if you are aware, a cup that is full cannot be filled. It is only a cup that is empty that can be filled. So your prayer will be, God, I know, I believe that I am blessed. I only need to come to a full awareness of this blessing. Is somebody catching something tonight? That is confidence. It is when you pray for awareness, you are simply praying for confidence. When you are in a confused state and you need clarity, you are not asking that the that the light should shine and there should be clarity. Maybe the light is all along shining, but you are in a state that you just couldn't see. For instance, you are in a room and completely unaware that what you are looking for is in the next room. That is a state of unawareness. It doesn't mean that the thing does not exist. What you are looking for actually exists, but you are just unaware that it is in the next room. What you should pray for is awareness. Oh my goodness. I hope somebody's catching something tonight. That if only you can reduce all your 199 prayer points into one prayer point, which is, Lord, make me aware, you'll be successful. Lord, make me aware. Maybe someone wants to type that down tonight. You can write it here, you can write it in the WhatsApp group. Lord, make me aware. If you can get to a state of awareness, a state of enlightenment, which is what we're going to be talking about shortly, you will realize that you will not struggle about anything. Now, let me use the analogy of the person sitting for exams. Imagine that this person already has studied. The person has the awareness of the exams. Someone is asking, what should I ask? What are you going to be aware of? The awareness is relative, is based on your prayer points. That means what you are asking for, rather than asking for that thing, believe that that thing is already in existence, that you should come to the awareness of where it is. I hope that answers the question. You are coming to the awareness of where it is. For instance, maybe the thing that you need is with someone in this WhatsApp group, and you have been with this person for 60, what days now? 63 days. And you are unaware. You are unaware that there is someone in this room that holds something you have. I can tell you for free, businesses are being conducted in this WhatsApp group, and many of us are unaware of it. Awareness is an epiphany. It brings you into a state of light, illumination. In this same group that is conducted for free, someone has reached out to me and engaged me through the person's company, and we are conducting business that is significant, that is going to go for quite a number of time, just to help that person's company become better. Now, many of us are completely unaware of the opportunities that are already amongst us. So you can go ahead and say, God bless me, God give me, God this, God that. But you can as well say, God, I know that you have blessed me. Simply show me, bring me to that awareness. Bring me to that awareness. Who is that person that I need to talk to? And all that. We can go on a session on awareness for 1 hour. But because of time, I just want to take a break there. If you go back and rewatch all the videos that I've shared, when I talked about the difference between your natural senses and your supernatural senses, you will get a better picture of what I'm talking about. We need to move from engaging our external environment physically to engaging our internal environment spiritually. Awareness are matters of the inner senses. When you're talking about insight as a replacement for your sight, you're talking about inspiration as a replacement for your nose, you're talking about instinct as a replacement for your skin, you're talking about intuition as a replacement for your tongue for tasting, and you're talking about, what's the fifth one? Insight, inspiration, instinct, instruction as a replacement for your hearing. That is when you dig into your five inner senses. That is where you get awareness from. But most of us, we want to see it before we can believe it. We want to use our natural senses before we can believe it. It ain't going to work like that all the time. Exactly. Lord, bring me to the awareness of where it is. Because every now and then, before you pray, just think of the analogy of the baby that is being expected, and they had prepared the room, they had prepared everything for the baby before the baby arrived. That is the same way you are. You are not created to come and beg for things in this world. Everything you ever needed has been provided. Your simple prayer is, I need to believe, because that is the only thing that, if God is excited about anything, he is more excited about faith than praise. I before you come with all your religious bullets at me, I can tell you for free that as much as religion upholds sacrifice of praise, there is something that is above sacrifice of praise, and that is the sacrifice of faith. Write that down. Sacrifice of faith exceeds the sacrifice of praise. If you get to that stage where your sacrifice of faith exceeds your sacrifice of praise, it is then that you can see how you please God. Because it says, without faith, even if all your praises raise the roof, without faith, it is impossible to please Him. Because whosoever will come to Him must be aware that He exists, must be aware that He exists. And He has rewarded those who are seeking Him diligently. Isn't that scripture? For today's not Bible class, I want us to build our confidence levels. When our confidence levels are high enough, then we are close enough to our destination, whatever the goal is. We've talked about the 7 areas of our lives: our physical lives, our mental lives, our social lives, our environmental lives, our financial life, our social. I mean, you know them. Go back and check your notes. In any of the areas of your lives, you can be a shining star. In fact, not you can be a shining star. You are a shining star. You only need to come to the awareness of it. Just like the minerals that are dug up from the earth. The diamond, even though the diamond, when brought out from the ground, is black, it doesn't make it less of a diamond. It's already a diamond. The diamond is just not aware that it's a diamond until it is refined, polished, and all that. Same thing with gold. Same thing with all the precious metals. When they are exhumed from the ground, they are already gold. They just need to come to the awareness of what they are. Same thing with you, same thing with me. We are God's favorites. We only need to come to that awareness by the things that we do. And that is what confidence teaches you. Confidence teaches you awareness. Imagine the person going for exams. Imagine the person going to make a presentation. Imagine the person that has an interview. If you have a heightened state of awareness, the way you walk into the room, you walk with your shoulders high. You walk with your voice deep. You walk with your gait strong because you already know the answer before they set the question. Awareness. You can operate at this deep level in life, you will never struggle. Am I going too deep tonight? Let's go back to faith. We said faith hangs on 2 things, right? Substance and evidence. And this is what we'll be wrapping up tonight because I think we've done 1 hour already. Substance and evidence. Let's talk about substance for a bit. What is substance? Examples of substance. Your 7 levels deep why is a substance. Your failed attempts in life is a substance. Whether it's your stripes, whether it's your battle scars, all your failed attempts in life is a substance. So maybe you want to write it down. Make your mistakes early in life. Make mistakes. Fall in love with making mistakes, because what mistakes simply teach you is that this is not the way to get it right, so that you don't go and repeat it again. So number 1, your 7 levels deep why is a substance. Number 2, your failed attempts in life is a substance. Number 3, life's lessons, either from successes or from failures. Your life lessons are substance. Number 4, Your nature, your nurture, your neighborhood, they are substance. I'm sure you know the concept of nature, nurture, and neighborhood by now. If you haven't, that means you've not been watching any of my videos. Go back and watch them. Because of time, I'm not going to touch much about them. But all those elements, they contribute to the substance of your life. Number 5, your personal revelation, which is what we just talked about now. Your state of awareness is a substance. Whether it's insight, instruction, intuition, inspiration, or instinct, all those things are substance. Number 6, direction and redirection. All those things are substances. I'll explain. Direction, you know direction. But redirection, many people are not familiar with redirection. When you receive a rejection in life, when you receive a no in life, oftentimes we think that no means doom. Rejection means end of the world. No. There are times you need to start thanking God for shut doors, not only for open doors. Because there are times that maybe it is a redirection to where you actually ought to go. Because if every door in your life actually open to you, you don't know what is on the other side of every door. You don't know which of the door is a snare. All these life experiences are what you will call your substance. Whether it's the mistakes you've made in life, whether it's the lessons you've learned, whether it's your 7 levels deep why, the purpose that you have drawn for yourself, your vision, all those things, they are the substance of your life. Let's talk about evidence. Your point of reference is an evidence. I shared a video a few minutes before tonight's session, and I said you guys should go and watch it. This is when I want to talk about that video. There are so many things you can learn from that video. But one of the few things that I want to point out from that video is the point of reference. Thank you very much, moderator. You're doing excellently well. Excellent, excellent. Your 7 levels deep, your mistakes, your life lessons, your nature, nurture, neighborhood, your direction, redirection, your life's experiences. All of these are all constituents of the substance element of your faith. Now, the evidence element of your faith, number 1 is point of reference, which is what I'm talking about now. If you look at that video closely, you realize that there was a padded wall. And that padded wall is that, I don't know if you've heard me make this quote before that says, a comfort zone is a dangerous zone because comfort provides a floor and it also provides a ceiling, a limitation. Now, when they were told to run and stamp their post-it pads on the foam board, the natural thing to do was to limit yourself to that foam board. If you notice when the little girl started, they will run and they will stamp against the foam board as high as they could because that was the competition. Whoever goes high enough wins. But they continued for a while until somebody changed the narrative and said, we can go beyond this foam board. If you remember what I teach about the frying pan and the fish in one of our sessions back then, they went beyond the foam board and the guy ran and went and stamped it on the wall right above the foam board. That was when awareness was opened to many people. That, you know what? We can actually go beyond the foam board. That was a state of awareness. That is what I mean by epiphany, a discovery. That is when they started aiming for how far can you go on the wall. Then the next one, once you realize that it is done at a level, you now understand that because it is done, you now have the confidence because that has already given you a substance, a proof proof and evidence that this thing can be done this far, so I can exceed it. So the other guy goes and tries as much as possible to exceed the previous guy's limit. And this guy that made this attempt before, all of a sudden he discovered that he didn't know his own strength. And remember, that's how I started this session. He didn't know his own strength. He now goes again and exceeds this guy's attempt. He was one who made this attempt before. Now he's making another attempt and he's exceeding this guy's attempt. And all of a sudden, this guy realized that, you know what, I can do better than I was doing before. And he summoned the awareness that he can do better. He goes and makes another attempt. And he goes on until this guy gave up on his mental permission. Did anybody catch that in that video? Like I said, there are lots of lessons, minimum of 10 lessons in that video. Go back and watch it. Nelson Mandela has a quote. He says, "It always seems impossible until it is done." That means it's a parallel to the Zig Ziglar quote that there are so many times that things that you want to do, it always seems like it is impossible until someone does it. You don't realize that the moment someone does it, all of a sudden people start breaking that record. Case in point, earlier this year, a couple of months ago, we're all aware of the cooking, the Guinness record for long time cooking. Until someone made an attempt for 100 hours, no one else came into the awareness that they could give an attempt. You see the point I'm trying to make? So awareness in itself, or what you will call point of reference, thank you, moderator. Point of reference is when you now begin to premise your goals on what is possible, what has been done before. Now, what has been done before, it could be what has been done before physically. It could also be what has been done before mentally. Because the amazing things that we see on our planet today, most of them have not been done before physically. Those that are building the tallest hotel, tallest building in the world, the bridge that connects one end to another end, train that enters into water in Dubai, comes out in India. All those are things that have not been done before. But some people just picture it in their mind and they go to work and start creating stuff. This is what the new me is all about. Am I communicating tonight? So evidence, number one, is point of reference. And I've explained that with the video I shared with you. Number two is your power moves. How many of us remember your power moves? I explained it a couple of days in the WhatsApp group. Those are your evidence. The moves that you make, the programs you sign up for, the people you meet, the calls you make. They don't have to be landmark or groundbreaking events. They could be as simple as the relationships you establish. That is the power move, because you never know the potential of that relationship. Number two, power moves. Number three, new neural pathways. I've explained that as well. The things that you do consistently enough until it becomes part of your lifestyle. Those are evidence. They are proof that you are building confidence. Your point of reference is a proof that you're building confidence. Your power moves is the proof that you're building confidence. Your new neural pathways, I've explained that as well. Your mental permission, yeah. These are your part of your evidence. Another one is the daily success. That is called your mini victories. I'll call them the build-up victories. They don't have to be something as groundbreaking as you winning $1 million or $1 billion or whatever. It could just be like, okay, you set out to call this person today and you eventually did. You set out to forgive this person and you eventually did. You set out to stop holding grudge about this person and you successfully did. You set out to put yourself in an emotional state of love, peace, and joy, and you eventually did. All those little things, they go a long way. These are proofs. Because if you look at the story of King David, he started by killing bears. He started by killing lions before he started killing giants. So there will always be some minor victories, your build-up victories. So moderator, yeah, daily success, mini victories, exactly. That's what it is. Then the next one are testimonies. I mean, you heard of someone's testimony recently in the group, how the person went from sleeping on the bare floor to having all expenses paid with a fancy job as a public servant. And there are so many that there are some people that they've shared their testimonies with me, and they are still shy to share it in the group because even the testimonies are groundbreaking. All these things are evidence that gives you confidence. Is someone catching my rhymes? Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting more time, I want us to build our confidence level on the foundation of the 6 C's that we have learned in the past 6 weeks. And now that we're in the 7th week, this is where we are going to be wrapping up the goal getting blueprint. Next week, we're taking up another subject. But I want us to understand what we have done in the past 7 weeks and do not take it for granted. Do not take any of these things for granted. Because it came to you free doesn't mean it's free. Like I told you before, I did this because I'm acting under instruction. And for reasons that I can't explain, I think I've given more in this free version than I have given in my paid version. For those that have subscribed to my paid version that are in this room, you know what I'm talking about. So please do not take this for granted. And most of the things that I've taught here, like I've explained, if you go back and watch my welcome video, you won't find any of these things in a textbook. All these things were divinely inspired. You won't find these 6, 7 C's anywhere else because they came to me direct. You will find some similitude, but you won't find it in the way I've delivered it. Every video that I've delivered in the course of this challenge for the past 64 days, go back and watch them. I know what I'm talking about because very soon I will take them off YouTube publicly and I'll monetize them. I'll refine them and monetize them. But while it's available for you for free, find the time and watch these things. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to take much time. I want us to go back and digest all those things and focus on our goals. Focus on all that we have put together. Focus on these things. You've got just a few more days before the end of this challenge. If you know that you have not given it your best shot thus far, it's not too late to start now. It's not too late to start now. So as we wrap up for tonight, the key word that we are putting in WhatsApp group as we move straight into the WhatsApp group is I am aware. It's that simple. You can either say I am aware or you can say I receive awareness. Whatever works for you. I receive awareness or I am aware. Whichever one works for you is fine. On that note, it's been my pleasure serving you. And I really, really look forward to seeing success out of you guys. Thank you so much and have yourself a good evening. Cheers.